أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد. يا رب العالمين لك الحمد والشكر على كرمك وفضلك ونعمك علينا. اللهم اغفر لنا يا رب. اللهم ارحمنا يا رب. اللهم اهدنا يا رب. اللهم زدنا علما وارزقنا فهما. آمين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Girls, it is our great pleasure and an honor to have in our midst a guest with us here from Palestine, Sister Abeer. Please listen to her attentively. It is going to be an interactive session, so if you want to ask questions, she is coming from the heart of where it is. So we might hear of things happening. We can only imagine, we can only picture what is there, but she is there physically. She knows what is exactly she is going through. She can give you first-hand experience. So listen to her story, listen to what she has to tell you. Okay. She was brought down by Salam Media. So I'll hand over to Brother Inayat and he will give you her biography. Jazakallah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I start, how many of you have been to Masjid al-Aqsa? Show of hands. All right. We've got quite a few, and I'm sure many of you, inshallah, will be going down. Now, just a bit about ourselves. We are with Salam Media. My name is Inayat Wadi, and we're here with the entire Salam Media team. And Salam Media, upfront, we'd like to thank you, Appa, and your team, and Crescent Girls High for giving us this opportunity to come out to visit your school, but also to make you part and parcel of the campaign that we have started. And this campaign has been initiated by Salam Media as part of an educational campaign. It is about Palestine. It is about the importance of Masjid al-Aqsa, and also looking at the various challenges that the Palestinians are faced with. Now, Sister Abeer Zayyad is a highly qualified individual in more ways than one. She is an educational tour guide, but she is also an archaeologist who knows basically every inch of Masjid al-Aqsa and the surrounding areas. She's been the director of the Jerusalem branch of the Society for the Protection of Nature. She's been a teaching assistant at the Department of Archaeology at the Al-Quds University. She's a free guide for many who visit Masjid al-Aqsa. She's been a free guide where she takes them on a tour of Masjid al-Aqsa, and also the archaeological expert that she is with the Jerusalem Affairs Department until now. She is also the chairperson of the board at the Women's Center at the Al-Quds Sirwan, and also many, many other hats that Sister Abeer Zayyad wears. Now, from a Islam media perspective, as I mentioned, this is a tour that we've undertaken. We started off in Johannesburg. We were in Peter Maritzburg yesterday. We've been to Al Falah College earlier on this morning. We are now at Crescent, and this evening there is going to be a public program at the Al Ansar Hall. And all of this is firstly to enhance our knowledge so that we are better armed, we have more information with regard to Masjid al-Aqsa and Palestine in general, but also to maintain this general sense of awareness of the challenges that the people of Palestine face. People like yourselves, young children like yourselves, girls like yourselves. The other day, I had the opportunity of talking to Ahad Tamimi, and I'm not too sure if many of you have heard of Ahad Tamimi, a young girl at the age of 16 who was taken into prison. And this is the situation in Palestine where yesterday I asked Sister Abir, I said, is there such a thing as a normal life for young Palestinians? And she says, how do you define normal? When you go to school, you take your favorite toy with you because when you come back, you don't even know if your house is going to be there. You don't even know if your house is going to be demolished. Do they have pets? Simple things that we take for granted in our daily lives. This is the life of the Palestinian children. And this is the reason why Abeer Zayyad is here to enlighten, to inform, to inspire us in more ways than one, and also at the same time to inspire so that we can play our role. They are people that have been chosen. They have been chosen to protect Masjid al-Aqsa. But what do we do? Where do we stand? And our responsibility is to support them. And just to begin with, the best way to support and when, if and when we have the opportunity, the first thing we need to do is visit Masjid al-Aqsa. And thereafter, we will appreciate what we have here, but also at the same time, appreciate what a huge responsibility they have on behalf of a that is about 1.6 billion strong around the world, where Allah has chosen them to protect Masjid al-Aqsa. And the first in Masjid al-Aqsa, and I'm sure Sister Abir will mention this, are the women of Masjid al-Aqsa. They are the first line of defense. When the brutal Zionist soldiers, the Israeli soldiers come in, the first line of defense are the women. And we've seen it over and over again. We've seen women dragged by the hair, women share some of your experiences with us this morning. If you have got any questions, then we want to make it as interactive as possible. So please, in your mind, get your questions ready, and I'm sure Sister Abir will appreciate the questions that come through. So without much delay, once again, Jazakallah to the principal and also to the staff and to all of you for accommodating us. And we do appreciate the fact that you have invited us morning to come and spend this time with you, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Jazakum today that I can answer all your question about Al-Aqsa, about Jerusalem, about Palestine. I will try my best in that. I'm archaeologist, working as the head of Islamic Heritage Department in Al-Aqsa Mosque, and I grew up inside Al-Aqsa Mosque. For us as a Jerusalemite, Al-Aqsa Mosque has mean our life, is mean everything for us. It's not only part or a mosque or part from our aqidah. It's for everything. It's mean everything for us. Of course, Al-Aqsa Mosque is part from our aqidah as a Muslim. And each one of us believing in Al-Aqsa Mosque, which was mentioned in the Quran. And we believe that Al-Aqsa Mosque is our first Qibla. The second building was putting for humanity after Kaaba, after 40 years from Kaaba, as the Hadith Sharif says. And also, Aqsa is the land of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, is the land of Al-Mahshar wal-Manshar. So there is a lot of things that we can speak about Al-Aqsa. And anyone was there, he know how much this place is an appreciated place and how much the person, when he go there, he fall in love in that place. Al-Aqsa Mosque is a place that you can feel history. You can feel attached directly with the place. When you go there and when you pray, any place you are standing and praying, you are praying in a place of one of the prophets. So imagine any place you are standing, you will be standing in a place of one of the prophet. Each step you are doing that inside the mosque, you are moving from one place of a prophet to another place of a prophet. So you can imagine something like that, something that you can't find it in any other place in the whole world. I do not want to talk a lot because I want to hear your question and to try to answer your question. Sorry, I was preparing to bring with me my laptop, but there is something happened, so I was not able to brought it with me. I was looking to share with you some of the videos about how was our life, and also some of the plans that Israel are putting to Al-Aqsa Mosque, and how they are planning to make the changes and to achieve their goal at the end, to demolish Al-Aqsa Mosque and to build the temple instead. So we as a Muslim have responsibility to protect this place and to keep it alive and not to allow for Al-Aqsa Mosque to be demolished and a temple built in its place. So I'll not speak more before I start hearing your question. And I hope that you will have a lot of questions about and that our prophet had lived all the prophets
Just like that.
from that place. So you can imagine when you go there, you will be in the same place of these prophets. And it's in the top of the mountain. Aqsa is a mountain. So on top of the mountain, we have the top of the rock. And that is the oldest Islamic building. And as much as we have every building in Palestine, this building survived. The rest of the building had been destroyed. We have more than 300 buildings inside Aqsa Mosque. Each one has a different history. But it is said that the Dome of the Rock is the oldest one. So who would like to ask now?
Don't be shy. You're not going to be on camera if you ask a question, okay?
Why are the Israelites after Masjid al-Aqsa?
The Israeli want to measure Aqsa, the Zionism, because they say that the Qibla for them is Al-Aqsa Mosque, especially in the area of the Dome of the Rock. And they say also that Ibrahim alayhi salam, he tried to sacrifice his son Ishaq alayhi salam in that place. For us as a Muslim, we believe that Ibrahim alayhi salam tried to sacrifice his son Ismail at Arafah mountain. So this is the major difference in beliefs. So they consider that place is the place of the sacrificing, and they also say that there was a temple there before 3,000 years, and they use that as an excuse to take the place and also for all the occupation. So they justify the occupation with saying about that temple, which does not have any archaeological remain for it at all. But let's say that they was really before 3,000 years, and that they occupied us before 3,000 years. Is that justified for them, the occupation today? England was occupied by Rome before 2,000 years ago. And it was proved that Rome was occupied them. So is the Rome have, the Italy today, have the right to kick England out from their land because they occupied them once before 2,000 years? Most of African land was occupied by European country. Do you think that the European now have the right to come to occupied any country again because they was occupied it once, and to kick the native people from it because they occupied it once. So why it's okay to kick us out because they occupied us once back in history? So there is no justification for that. And to use this excuse to kill us, to take our homes, there is no justifying for that. More questions? Yes. Come closer. Zionist movement consider themselves supreme. You can compare what is happening exactly like the apartheid here. You remember in the apartheid time, the white people was consider themselves that they are much better and a supreme than the all other people. So the same thing is in Palestine, that Zionists consider themselves supreme and consider themselves they are much better than the rest of the world. So they look down to us as not a human. And they, for them, it's okay to kill us, to arrest us, to do all the violent things for us. Even they consider that, okay, if you do this stuff to non-Zionists, it's okay, you can do it. So because they are less than a human being. So this mentality of colonialism, supreme, it's make them using violence more because they justify that for themselves. And at the end, they are occupation that they want to kick us from our land. Even if less than 1 month, one of their ministers, his name is Mortich, he say on TV that Palestinian people have three options: to accept that they are slaves, or to transfer from the country and that they give us money to transfer. And the third option is to be killed. And he say that people will in the world will be mad for 1 week or two, and after that they will forget, like what they forget all the massacres that it's happened in 1948. So they look down for us. One of them, her ministers, her name is Shakit, she once said that Palestinian people are snakes and supposed to be killed when they are children. So they do not hide their races. They do not hide their looking for themselves as supreme. And they are not afraid or feeling shy of the killing of women, children, everybody, any Palestinian. They are not shy of that kind of killing. Each time is different, but I've been in prison many times. So, but most of the time, there is no reason, clear reason. For example, once they arrested me at night from my home, and they take me to investigation and all of this, and they say that I was throwing a stone at night before 1 month in a different neighborhood. The major problem of this, that the day that they give it that I was throwing a stone, my both hand was already broken by them before that. So how I will be able to throw stones, even if I want to do? And anyway, I'm old and I will not go out in the night to throw stones in a different neighborhood or something like that. But the day that they give, both of my hand was broken, not one, both. So how I'll be able to throw stones? And it was broken by them. So I was released next day. But of course, even if you does not do anything, you're supposed to pay fine when you are released. So I pay 1,000 shekel, which is around 5,000 rand, to be released from jail because I did not do anything. So each time they say something else. Some of the children, for example, been arrested because they was playing football and the football hit one of the settlers while he is one of the Zionists while he's walking in the street, or hit a security camera or something like that, is enough reason to arrest the child 6 years old or 5 years old. So they don't care. They do, and some of us are arrested without any reasons, which they call it, and without a court, which they call it the administration arrest, which is arrest without court and without a cause. So they don't care, in fact. And you know, most of us as a Palestinian, at least one of member of the family had been in jail once, at least. Some of the families, all of us had been in jail. So me, myself, I spent a few times in jail, which is not that long. So each time I spend 1 week, 1 month, a few days. But it's nothing if you compare it with other people. For example, my husband himself, he spent 15 years in jail. But also, if you compare my husband with another people, like, for example, now we are all the time speaking about another prisoner. His name is Walid Daqqa. Walid Daqqa, he spent already 37 years in jail. And he's still in jail. And Walid is sick, and he have cancer, and he's supposed to be released before 2 years. They add time for his time in jail because they found a phone with him. So Walid, he's dying now. And if he was not released very soon from the jail to have a good medication, he will pass away. And he does not want to wait to see another prisoner die inside jail. So we need to do something and to stand to have released for Walid Daqqa. So if you compare each person for another person, there is more people are worse situation than our situation. So to say to spend a few days or a month in jail is like nothing. It does not compare with these people who are suffering all their life inside jail because of the occupation. Other questions? Judaism is a religion. Zionist is a political movement. Political movement that are supporting colonialism, occupation, supporting races. So whom we consider a Zionist? Anyone who are supporting this colonialism and this occupation. So all the Jewish people who are living inside our country and staying and supporting this occupation, there exists inside our country, even if they say that they are not supporting the occupation, there exists inside our country is supporting for occupation. So anyone who's living inside our country is a Zionist. And anyone from the Jew who are outside of the country and come to make the national service for the Israeli army, he's a Zionist. So the Zionist is a thought, is not a religion. Judaism is a religion. Some of the Jewish people, like, for example, the group, they call themselves Natori Carter. These group, for example, they refuse the occupation completely. And they refuse to support the occupation completely. And they have a small group from them in Palestine that they consider themselves Palestinian. And they raise the Palestinian flag and refuse completely the occupation. So these people, they are Jewish, but they are not Zionist. So there is a difference between Judaism religion and Zionist. Other questions? Yes. Why they want? This is a big myth. I never hear the Israeli the Zionists. A lot of them believe about the books of Suleiman that exist underneath of the mosque. Few of them, they say that. But the majority, they does not say that. But anyway, archaeology, it does not say that there is any books or something for Sulaiman alayhi salam underneath of Al-Aqsa Mosque. So it's just apart from the Israeliyat that all the time they are speaking about it. So at the end, if we found something belong for Sulaiman alayhi salam or not, that does not change from the situation for Al-Aqsa Mosque for us as a Muslim and how it's important. And it's enough for us. There is a lot of a prophet that been there, and it's proved by archaeology, by history, by religion. So it's for us. It will be an important place if they found it or did not found it. Anything which was connected with Sulaiman alayhi salam, but till today they was not able to find anything at all. You need to understand that we are under occupation. So it's not easy for the Palestinian Authority sometimes to say what they supposed to say or to do what they supposed to do. So you can't judge from outside the things like what you can judge it from inside. And you need to know that inside Palestine we have a lot of problems because of the fearing from a lot of other country. So you have the influence of Iran, you have the influence of Saudi Arabia, you have the influence of Emirates, the influence of Qatar. All of that is effect on the inside situation for Palestinian. So as a people from outside, as a Muslim from outside, your duty is to support the Palestinian as a cause, and do not take care about all these problems which is inside the Palestinian political party between themselves, and leave it alone, because our duty is to protect the mosque itself. So it does not care about all these things. You need to understand that during history, even the time of Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi, there was a lot of people and a lot of other leaders. They was disagree and have a problems, and each one is dealing in a different way. But even that, at the end, Salah ad-Din was succeed because of the people who believe in one thing, to support Al-Aqsa Mosque. So if we just concentrate on this, it will be much better to help the cause of Palestine and Al-Aqsa, instead of concentrate on the entire the inside problems for the Palestinian between themselves. Yes. The war starts not by the occupation. The war starts from the moment that British decide to take our country and to give it to Zionist movement. That was in the Balfour Declaration. And after that, they occupied us in 1917. And from that moment, it starts real war. It's not a war in the meaning of our understanding. It was more like just killing us, attacking us. All the time, we just was people who try to protect themselves. Our mujahideen, they do their best to try to protect, but the British never left for us any weapons. They killed us. They killed our women. They killed our children. They bombed our cities. All of this is before 1948. So we have the revolution, the Buraq revolution in 1929. We have the big revolution in 1936. We have a lot of revolution against the British before the Israel occupation. So British was preparing our country for them to occupy it. Before British come, the percentage of Jew was not close to 2%. When in 1948, the percentage of Jewish in Palestine become 20%. So even when they started the war, the Nakba, it was the percentage of them was only 20%, and we was 80%. But even that, the UN, because of British and USA, they give our land to the Zionists. So it's not easy at all. And the war is a continuous. The Nakba is a continuous. They still killing us till today. So it's not a start with the Israel occupation. It starts with Balfour Declaration. It starts with British occupation. Other questions? Yes. Most of the Muslims country, they are caring about their own problem and they forget that Al-Aqsa Mosque is part from their aqidah. They care about their throne and instead of caring about the mosque. So I'm not surprised because I study history. And I know that a lot of time, even when the Crusaders occupied us at 1099, we have 3 Khalifa in that time, not one. One Khalifa is in Al-Andalus, one was in Egypt, and one in Iraq. And none of them save us. So sometime when they take care more about their crown, they will not be thinking about what they are supposed to do from Islamic point of view and their responsibility and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would do for them in Judgment Day because of this. So this is why we does not having any, let's say, hope or expectation from the Muslims country. Our expectation is from the people themselves, because the people who can put pressure on their government and in the Israeli government to change. So if Muslims understand their responsibility for Al-Aqsa Mosque, they can put pressure on their government so they can make the real change for Al-Aqsa Mosque. And to know and to understand that there is nothing more a priority than to support your aqidah and your existing as a Muslim, and you can't left other Muslims being killed in this way, and an important place for us as a mosque to be left alone. So when Muslims understand their responsibility, everything will be changed, inshallah. The education thing is different depending in which area you are living in Palestine. Because some places are the education is controlled completely by Israeli, and some places the education is completely controlled by Palestinian Authority, and some places are mixed. So most of the places in West Bank and Gaza, the education is percentage is very high, and the people who finish the school is very high, is almost 90%. But in Jerusalem, the percentage is completely different because most of our schools are controlled by the Israeli, and they on purpose make it is very hard to continue the school, and especially that a lot of children go to jail. So this caused that the percentage of finishing the high school in Jerusalem is only 50%. So it's much difference between Jerusalem and the West Bank and Gaza. So mainly because the occupation does not want us to be taught, and they want us to move to a new school that they establish it with a Zionist method, and to encourage people to go to that schools. So they make the other schools, which is teaching on the Palestinian books, they want it to be stopped. So they make it very bad, and they do not give them any fund. The children, a huge number in the same class, and also that sometimes they attack them or arrested them. So in this way, they will put more pressure on the families, on the children to move to the other schools that they put a lot of facilities in it, to encourage families to move to the Zionist book. And this will have a huge dramatic change in the future if we did not stop that, because this will affect on the mentality of the new generation. Yeah. The Israeli goal is not only, the main goal is Al-Aqsa Mosque, but it's not only Al-Aqsa Mosque or Palestine. The last month, I think, the Smartish, the same minister that we spoke about, he went to France, and he have a speech about the Zionists, and on his speech place, he was putting the map of what they call it, the big Israel. So the map, it have Palestine, Lebanon, most of Syria, Jordan, and also part from Egypt. So this is their main goal. All these places is their dream to control it. So they start with us, and if they was able to conquer us and destroy us completely and take over the Aqsa Mosque, their goal it will be the rest of the country around us. Our fighting and our continuity of living is not only protecting us, it's to protect also other Muslims and other places. And as a Palestinian that we are living inside, we believe in what our Prophet ﷺ had said, that we are in jihad all our life. So we continue living there because of that. You can't imagine that there are some places, some people do not afford to have a food, but they have a temptation of selling their homes with millions to the Zionists, and they do not do it. So it's not like other poor families or such thing. You choose Al-Aqsa Mosque, you choose Jerusalem more than what you are choosing your children themselves. So if they come to any one of us and say, protect the mosque or one of your child die, what you prefer, the life of your child or the mosque? The answer it will be the mosque. So I hope that you understand now how is our mentality. Now when I'm speaking with you, I just me as a person, I have a broken bones from my skull to my toe. They beat me, they shoot me, they arrested me. They done everything against me. But that does stop me from going to the mosque or working to the mosque? No. I'm still going there. And I don't care if they shoot me another time. I don't care if they arrested me another time. I will stay going daily basis to Al-Aqsa Mosque, inshallah. You want? Okay, so ask the question. Listen, as a tourist, when you come, you are safe. This is you need to understand very well. Okay, so you are safe as a tourist because you are not Palestinian. They are not. You are not their target. So when you come to Al-Aqsa Mosque to Palestine, you need to understand that you are safe. But then you can't say that this place is more dangerous than this place, because each area in Palestine have a different challenge. And sometimes things is dramatically change in 1 second. So you does not know what is going on. So as a Palestinian, you know that you are in danger all the place, all the time. But it's different from one place to another. But at the end, as a tourist, you are safe. So I encourage all of you to speak with your family and to come to Al-Aqsa Mosque. Salam Media is coming in September. You can come with them. And even if you did not come with them, come in another time, but try to come all the time for Al-Aqsa Mosque. And me, myself, and there is another people like me, they were offering a free service for the people who are coming to visit Al-Aqsa Mosque. Myself, I provide free tours for all the Muslims that are coming to Al-Aqsa Mosque and Jerusalem. So I hope that you will use this and to come and to learn more about Al-Aqsa Mosque, inshallah. And again, you will be safe. So don't worry about that at all. I hope that I will be able to answer more questions, but because of the time we are supposed to finish. So I hope that I will be able to answer all your questions inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque, inshallah.
Well, we just want to say Jazakallah to Sister Abeer. And tonight there is this event that is taking place at the Al-Ansar Hall, and there's going to be a presentation. And if any of you can make it, or your parents or your family members, I really would encourage people to come, because I think many of the questions, and I've been quite impressed, alhamdulillah, that you've got such inquiring minds. And I'm sure that with the information that's come through, you feel a bit more enlightened. And I'm sure it's also whet your appetite for the subject. And also we're going to ask the learners and the staff here to please follow us. Our tour is on our social media platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on our YouTube channel. So you can just go on to Salam Media's various social media pages, and you'll get a lot more information. But as Abeer mentioned, our intention was to come to the schools so that we can interact with the learners, so that you can maintain this interest, and also for future generations, to take up the struggle for Palestine. And Sister Abeer mentioned Salam Media. We are looking at an initiative where we'd like to take a tour out, inshallah, in September to Palestine as well. So, but we will definitely keep the school informed. But with it, Appa, to you and your team once again, Jazakallah for your time, for accommodating us, for your warm welcome. And really, it felt just so good being here, interacting with yourselves and the learners at the school. So we wish you all the best, inshallah. We request your du'as for all of us. And more importantly, let us make dua for the people of Palestine and for the liberation of Masjid al-Aqsa, inshallah.